Shalom, my friends. Welcome to another Walk in the Word. 7:45, Friday night, and it's pretty hot, but the humidity's not too bad, so figure let me come out. I've already done some walking, and boy, my breathing is greatly improved. I believe it's due to Dr. Dennis Black's superfood, because that's the one new thing I've added into the mix here recently, and right from that time, that's when I started noticing my breathing improved quite a bit. Praise Elohim. So it's fairly cloudy. There's some blue peeking through, but even there's a bit of a cloudy mist. Humidity's down. It's going to be rising now, because when the sun goes down, the humidity comes up. And it was like up around 90 today. Right now I think it's probably around 84, and the humidity's probably around 45, heading towards 50. Not the best, but you know, we love these Walk in the Words, don't we? It's so nice to get out and get some fresh air too. Boy, we had quite a live fellowship Thursday night, which for me was last night. You know, I'm recording this on Friday. At the end, probably, I don't know, a good half hour, we talked about dispensationalism. If you don't know what dispensationalism is, be sure and watch Thursday night's live fellowship, because it's something that's taught pretty much by every Christian religion, televangelist, you name it, you know. It's taught widespread, and it's a total doctrine of demons. It's not in Yahweh's word. And like I always say, if it's not in the word, it's a lie. Period. You know, what is the truth? You look at 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, I don't know, verse 11 on 10, somewhere around there. Abba talks about those who refuse to love the truth, and so he causes them to believe in falsehoods, lies, the doctrines of men, because they refuse to love the truth. What's the truth? The truth is his word. There's no other truth. And his word, the truth of his word, can only be discovered in his original delivery of it. And you know, I keep talking about this one. It's a good example. In English, it says we're saved by grace through faith. That's not what the Father said in his original delivery. He said we are saved through Chana, through Aman. Well, if you want to know about salvation and how we're saved and what we're saved through, then you have to learn what Chana and Aman mean. pretty easy thing to do. I mean, it only takes minutes. But many there are who refuse it. They don't want it. They do not want to embrace His truth. They refuse to look at it. Wow. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya, that kind of thing goes on. But His truth is being refused visibly, and we talked about that greatly last night. Like I said, if you haven't watched our live fellowship, check it out. One thing that really caught my attention was, not sure how it came up. I was talking about worry. I think in the King James it says, don't fret. You'll see it in the Psalms, where Abba Yahweh gives us one of his really cool codes of wisdom. Don't worry. The King James says, fret. Abba, Father, said, don't chada. It makes me laugh because in Aramaic we have a word that's just pronounced a little bit differently. We say chara. If you're hip to any of the Middle Eastern stuff and you hear me say chara or yi chara, you'll know what I'm saying. Basically, chara is dung. But Abba says, never chada, because it only leads to ra'ah, evil. Well, I mentioned that last night, and I got a strong response. A lot of people were asking questions about worry. And it occurred to me that most of us today don't know the definition of worry. I really think most of the people asking about it were asking because they're confusing worry with things like concern or interest. You know, people today, I'm sure, are worrying more How's it going, buddy? Good, thanks.
What's that picking up?
It's a camera.
Yeah.
I make videos. I put them up on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
You wanna be seen by a few thousand people?
Yeah, go ahead. What's the channel? What's your handle?
If you go to YouTube and you type in the search,
Yep.
Watch Alan. One word.
Watch Alan. A-L-A-N.
You got it, man.
Her son,
Hey, how are
who
you?
lives up there, is over 10 million views.
Jeez.
Now he's
Hi.
been doing it for like how long has he been doing
I don't
it?
even know. 10
He does
years.
SpongeBob parodies.
Yeah.
I've been doing it about 10 years, but I do no promotion. I've got
Right.
45,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't do any promotion.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
And I do this. I do this.
Yeah, we've seen you with the microphone. That's the microphone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah. And I do this like every Saturday. It'll go up,
Yeah.
and I call it Walking in the Word.
Walking in the Word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I teach the Bible from the language it was written in, Aramaic, Hebrew. It wasn't written in English, and if you read it in English, you're not going to understand anything.
Yeah.
Because he didn't speak English, you know. So I explain these things. You certainly tomorrow you're going to look for this because you're going to see yourself, you know. And I'm explaining some stuff about that. You'll enjoy it,
Yeah.
you know.
Is
Something
that so
different.
each weekly contains to that?
Yeah, on Thursday nights I do a live fellowship,
Okay.
and
All on YouTube?
All on
nothing
YouTube.
Nothing,
Watch Allen.
no churches, no...
No,
Yeah.
I think religion is like stupid. I think
Yeah.
religion is wicked. I think it's all satanic.
Well, my dad studied to be a priest, Catholic priest, for 10 years.
Yeah.
In the seminary.
Well, Catholic, that's a real good example because Jesus said, call no man father, right?
I don't know.
Nobody ever
yeah.
reads the book. Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
But, you know, your priest will tell you, you can't read the book.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. Why? Because you'll find out how many ways they've been lying to you.
No, I'm not a practicing Catholic. But
That's good
But
news.
my dad, from 18 to 28,
Yeah.
was in a Catholic seminary. And got
Well-
out for reasons nothing to do with raising a family. Got
Right.
out for, they were changing over to Vatican 69, I believe, Vatican I. They were moving the Mass from Latin to English.
Yeah.
And he disapproved of some of the things they were doing.
Well, with good
So he was a diehard.
Well, yeah, like I said, Jesus says, call no man father. Well, what do the Catholics do? Call every priest father. Oh, that's okay, because you're not talking to me, you're talking to him. What, I can't talk to him, only you can?
What were you raised? Were you raised anything? Or
I had a wonderful father.
yeah.
My father taught me, he said, there are as many religions in this world as there are men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says,
That's a
you
good point.
have to read that book for yourself
Yeah.
Yeah.
and decide for yourself. Now, my grandfather came to America from Syria when he was 16. He was a street preacher. His Bible was written in Aramaic, and that's the language Jesus spoke in.
Right.
So he had the understanding,
Yeah.
and he used to weep when he would read certain scriptures.
Yeah.
When I was 7 years old, I saw him weeping. He was sharing something with me. I says, when I grow up.
What town did you grow up? You're from New Jersey?
Yeah, I grew up here in Somerset,
In Somerset. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
where I go.
What high school?
Franklin High.
Okay. I went 2 years to St. Peter's and 2 to St. Joseph's.
I had good friends, the Spicuzos from St. Peter's.
Not the Spicuzzo, the sheriff.
Yeah.
Went down with the ship.
Yeah, the guy that went down.
Yeah. I heard he was a mess.
Yeah.
Physically
yeah.
falling apart like his whole life.
Oh, he was going into senility, and they're
Yeah.
putting him in prison. It's like,
Well,
what
they took. I know. I won't tell you who, but this guy had to pay him $25,000 to
Yeah.
get into the system. So,
yeah, it's all wicked.
yeah. Your wife, is she still with us? Or your partner?
I divorced my wife when my daughter was 2 years old, like 40 years
How
ago.
about the woman that's walked with you?
That's my sister.
Oh, that's your sister.
Yeah.
Okay. Kate, that's your Sally's
Wow,
sister.
wow, okay.
And Kate was worried that
Not
you
now,
lost
I'm wave to the fireman.
someone dear to you. All right, let's bring this
All right.
in. Alan, nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'll see you on the
So
web.
watch
Thank
Alan,
you.
or look. What's it?
Watch
Watch
Alan.
Alan. One word.
Yeah, you'll see it.
Thank you, Alan.
Take
All
it
right.
easy, buddy.
God bless.
You too. Thank you.
So now, where was I? Come on, somebody tell me, where was I? Worry. Chada. Don't ever do that. Yeah, and I think people today, I don't think they know the definition of worry. Some people were asking you, like, how can you not worry? And I said to one person, I says, I can't even think of what to worry about. Can you help me out? Look, there's a difference between worry and healthy concern. All right, look, let's say I fell down and I cut a deep cut, bleeding heavy. I would have a concern about that. I would be concerned to attend to it as soon as possible. See if I can get that bird up there. Where is it? See if I could have, I'd be concerned about it. But I can be concerned and attend to it without worrying about it. What's worry? Number one, worry is a separating yourself from Abba Father Yahweh. You're separating yourself from Him. You're eliminating any trust in Him. You're separating yourself from Him. And that happens mostly because there are demons that got you to start worrying in the first place with lies. First of all, they're distracting you from attending to the cut and stopping the bleeding. Oh boy, what if you bleed too much and you pass out before you can call someone for help? That's worry, that's not concern. What if there's poison, whatever you fell on? What if there's poison and now you're going to get poisoned and you're going to die before you can get help? That's worry. And if you keep worrying like that, it's going to lead to ra'ah, or ra'ah, evil. Maybe you will pass out and drop dead because you didn't call for help. One woman asked a question that I thought was really important. How can we not worry about the children today who are following such wicked ways? And I can understand that coming from a woman. How you doing, buddy? Good. You drinking that water? Yeah. Way to go. I can understand a woman, motherly instincts. She sees children acting really poorly, no respect, running the households as Abba prophesied it would be. And she's like, oh, how can you not worry? Why would you worry? I mean, as Abba says, that will only lead to evil. You're not going to do anything for the child or the children by worrying. You're going to draw more demonic influences and activity around yourself by worrying, because they recognize worry and they rush in to increase the emotion. Demons love strong emotion. Demons are basically the departed spirits of the offspring of the Nephilim and the seed of Hashatan, Satan. And they're stuck on the earth realm. They don't go any place. They're stuck here. So they like to get around persons. And if they can stir up emotions, fear, anger, hatred, murder, suicide, they love that, because the stronger the emotion is, the more they can remember what it was like to be in the flesh. So worrying for these children today does nothing. And my response to her was, I said, you don't worry about them, you teach them. We don't worry about children, we teach them. And I'm telling you, boy, this one really hits me heavy, is the men out there. If you're a husband and if you're a father, the Ruach moves heavy on me, because the men out there are not doing their primary job. Men out there are not doing the most important job they have. If you are a husband, if you are a father, one of Abba Father's codes of wisdom, his loving instructions to his male children who become fathers and husbands, is to teach your wife and your children his word. To be the proper head of the house by making Elohim number one on a list of one in your house. If you're not doing that, there's no wonder that you would worry about your children, because you have no relationship with Elohim. And without him, there's great cause for worry. But if you have a relationship with him and you're making him number one on a list of one, you're teaching your wife and your children his word, there would be no worry in your heart, because you're trusting everything to him. And you know he's not going to let you down, so there's no worry in your heart. If there's worry in your heart, that's a great red flag that should be waving all over the place in front of your face. You do not have a relationship with Elohim. That's why you're worrying. You have no trust in him, and thus worry. You haven't taught your children, and so you're worried because you don't know what they're doing or thinking. You don't know what they're doing or thinking because you didn't teach them what to do or think. We are in the last minute. And, this is just one more sign. Somebody says, is the rapture going to happen soon? Yeah. Everybody's talking about, these peace agreements in the news. That's got nothing. That's meaningless. That's been going on for 20 years. Always, I mean, come on. The Israeli Arabs and the Israelis can't find peace for thousands of years. Certainly not since 1948. They're always talking about it, and they're never going to come to it. There is a prophecy that the Antichrist will bring it about. We haven't seen him yet. He ain't in these meetings. So no, the signs are everywhere. Come on. When there's dark clouds, you know it's going to rain. You can read those signs, eh? Open your eyes and look at what's going on around you. Children are not being raised properly. And it's every man's fault. Because every man has brought those children into the world, and it's his responsibility that he's been ignoring. You're not teaching your wife, how can she teach your children? You're not teaching your children, how can they make wise decisions? They can't. Worry is a form of insanity. Worry is strictly of the flesh. It has nothing to do with intelligent concern. Good, how you doing, buddy? You've got a nice smile on your face.
What are you trying to do?
I'm talking about what you're wearing.
What am I wearing? Oh, this one?
Yeshua,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, sure. Well, even with you or other, we have to keep smiling.
Yes.
You know, that's how you make life easy for you and people.
Thank you for your smile.
Wow.
Now, should I worry about him? I got nothing to worry. I can't even think of something to worry about. Worry is a sign of insanity. I'm not kidding, man. It's a sign of insanity. It's of the flesh. It's a sign of having no relationship with Elohim, because if you really have a relationship with him, you wouldn't even think of worrying. But what troubled me, I think, the most was I don't think people know what worry means. I think they think that some people said, Drew, how can you plan for tomorrow? Planning has nothing to do with worry. Hasn't it occurred to you that you can plan your schedule for tomorrow without worrying about it? Well, my day's going to start at 8 o'clock. Oh, geez, what if I don't get up in time? That means I miss my first schedule, and then the rest of the day. Where am I going to find the time to fit in what I missed? Oh, you know what? I'm not going to get up tomorrow. I'm just going to kill myself, and then I won't have to worry anymore. You don't have to worry now. There's nothing to worry about. Yeah. Don't worry. And don't confuse worry with, intelligent concern, with intelligent consideration. Am I raising my children properly? I can ask myself that question without worrying. The only worry would be if the answer is no. Well, and then I start worrying. I didn't raise my daughter right. I wasn't even around my daughter most of her developmental life. And because I didn't worry, there were times I was concerned about her. What did I do? I had a meeting with Abba Father Yahweh. I prayed over her constantly. And now she's back in my life some 10, 11 years now, and we could not possibly be closer. Her love for Elohim is solid and strong. She's being washed by and growing in the Word. Her entire upbringing, Abba covered for me. He's got my back. Thank you, Father. He's done so much. He'll never let you down, but you have to talk to him. Worry is insanity. Worry is idiocy. Worthy is a worthless act. And that concludes our walk in the Word. Looks like I did about a half hour. It's 8:15. My Russian railroad watch, 100-year-old railroad watch, with its Rolex guts. It's a good watch. Anyway, Elohim's mighty beracha on you, my friends. Keep your wick trimmed. Keep your lamp burning bright. Shalom.